What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and today we're going to be diving into the limited preseason tape of MALAKI STARKS, the Ravens' first-round draft pick, a guy that hasn't gotten a lot of buzz just because he didn't play a lot, but I want to take a look at what he did put on tape because I think there's actually some very interesting takeaways that I'm interested in sharing with you guys. If you guys are interested in my final 53-man roster breakdown, you can catch that over at the Ravens Collective, our episode last night. Me, Jeff Zrebic, and Bobby Trossett went through the entire roster, top to bottom, talked about the UDFAs, all that good analysis. I'll drop the link in the description down below. Go check that out. But let's jump in to MALAKI STARKS. So again, a guy, I believe he had, to go look, like 22 snaps or something. There wasn't a whole lot to take away here, but I do think there's some fun takeaways. So you're going to see Starks here, and this is where I want to start because you see the Ravens stacking that line of scrimmage, and then you got MALAKI STARKS as your free safety. This is exactly what I expected from Starks, to be that deep free safety, and that's what I thought his role as a Baltimore Raven would be. And I still think it's going to be, but we're going to see in these subsequent snaps, the Ravens used him in a very versatile role, specifically playing against the opponent's tight end, that I think is one of the interesting takeaways. So you're going to see here, this was probably Starks' top play. It came against the Cowboys. So you're going to see them run a deep passing concept, focus on the slot. You see Starks come back over and absolutely upend the wide receiver. So cover one situation here where he's going to have responsibility for the deep center back here. And you can see we got Martin here in the slot. We got Tampa. And so as that route comes from the slot, because this is going to be, they had a tight end split out and then they had a slot. So they got trips to the left here, or trips to their right, defense is left. And you're going to see Starks starting that back pedal, and you're going to see him open his hips to the right. So he starts to open his hips to the right because he's seeing that crossing route develop. So we'll go back and play that through. So we're going to get a vertical concept here from the Cowboys. So they're going to run that tight end vertically with the little deep crosser, and then you're going to get a seam out of that slot. So watch Starks' hips. See him open, and then he comes back over. And this is the beauty of MALAKI STARKS. Obviously, that hit is a thing of beauty. So as he gets into his back pedal, again, he's going to open his hips with the leverage towards his right. And then as soon as he reads that seam coming off of Martin, because Martin's going to let him go. They're playing cover one, so they're forming that line there. He's going to let that seam go. Starks has to transition there. You're going to see Tampa begin to come over and follow that deep route as well. And that's kind of where, see right there, so Tampa's going to come off of that because he's reading the quarterback. So Tampa breaks off because he sees Milton cock. So you see right there, he's going to break on that. And right as Milton's cocking, you can see Starks still has his hips open. So he has that yardage with this throwing motion to flip his hips and get across. So this is where I don't think his athletic testing is going to do justice for his game speed. Watch him right there. Switch that flip hip and get across. That's what the Baltimore Ravens need from a free safety. So I'm expecting a lot of those as I'm going through these snaps, but then I'm noticing this different role that the Ravens used him in. So here he's going to be on the field with Sanusi Kane. Sanusi Kane's actually the deep safety here, and you have Starks playing around at the line of scrimmage. Now, not a bad thing by any means. What they did in this Colts game was use him heavily against Tyler Warren, and that's going to be the focus here. And so I just wasn't expecting him to be in that role in the preseason. I thought they'd use him deep center field, knowing that, when we get into the Bullets being live and the Ravens are matching up with the defense, it's going to be Kyle Hamilton playing the tight end role. But in this Colts film, you're going to see him heavily. So right here, interesting play. They're going to run a little bit of a screen, and you're going to see Starks get engulfed by it. And you see the center come across. Warren's going to catch that screen, and I actually think if you follow pretty closely, so Starks I think makes the right move first off. So he's going to see, you can see right here, the tight end starting to break off. Starks recognizes it, and the first thing he does is he starts the contain roll, because if he comes inwards and opens that side of the field, they're only 40 yards out. That's going to open a big chunk gain. So Starks is going to play the contain roll and force the tight end back into the center of the defense where they have more bodies. So you see right there, Starks does that. But then I notice, and you can see, I should have thrown in the other angle. You can see it better on the other angle. This is a block in the back. You can't do this as an offensive lineman. He's driving the right into his back, and he collapses him. So that should have been a flag. Like, he literally runs over his back. So without getting into that, I think Starks does the right thing here, tries to force that back in. The Ravens get in there. Trent Simpson makes the tackle. That takes away the chunk play. Good read and react there, and that's what Starks does so well. So here we're going to see him again. Split safety look with Sanusi Kane. You're going to see him drop down again. See, Sanusi Kane is going to take that single high look. It looks like they're in cover 3 here. So he's going to take the deep middle, and he's going to drop under in a robber. And I just expected Kane to be doing that, and Starks to be playing high. So it's not that it's a bad thing. It's not that it means this is what's going to happen during the regular season. I was just surprised. So I love seeing the versatility out of him early, though. So you're going to see him drop in. He's manned up on the tight end. Really good read of Anthony Richardson here. As he's caulking, you see him breaking on Tyler Warren. And it's just a little late, but, good read and react there coming from the split safety look. Then we get him wide here. So, again, another interesting look. So, they've split Tyler Warren out wide. And, the sensor bar is going to get in your way here as he runs through this route. But there's him playing outside corner. So, we've now seen him play deep free safety. We've seen him play it in the slot. We've seen him drop down in a robber. Now we're seeing him play outside, matched up on a tight end. There's the versatility of MALAKI Starks right off the bat. And the sensor bar is super painfully annoying in this clip. But the big thing here, you can't really see it, but he's on top of Tyler Warren. He's got his hands on, and that helmet's back. So he plays just a really good, clean coverage rep there. And I really like to see that because Lord knows we can use anyone that can cover tight ends, especially guys that can split out wide. I'm thinking of, the Travis Kelce's of the world, the George Kittles of the world. We want to see that type of versatility. So now it's not just Kyle Hamilton in that role. We can get MALAKI Starks in that role. And that's what I think was so underrated about his college tape, was just all the versatile things he could do. I think a lot of people were like, he's a single high. And that's what I was expecting out of him. But the Ravens obviously see that versatility too. So we're going to keep rolling here. Again, starting in that split safety look, but he's dropping under. And so you're going to get a little mesh concept here from the Colts, something they did a lot in this game. And then he's just going to pass that off, and he's looking to try and jump that route. So he wants to try and jump that route, but this is, I think, Adisa Isaac gets in there for the sack. Yeah, that's the sack. So you see him just playing all these versatile roles. Back to the Cowboys game. Again, you're going to see him in a split look pre-snap with Sanusi Kane, but he drops down and Sanusi Kane rotates into a single high. So super interesting. He's actually got man ability here on this tight end. So he's chipping a Jabbo off the play action. So they're going to do a rollout. He's going to chip a Jabbo and then get out into a route. And look at Starks covering that. So they trust him in that tight end coverage role, which I think is interesting. Also used him as a blitzer. So he's not on the screen right now. He is to the right. You saw Tyler Warren just shift over here. He's going to come off screen here and watch him run through the running back's face. Right there. Boom. And get in there. I think he actually got credited with a pressure for this because of that blitz. So love to see that. Again, versatile. The more you can do. We know that the Ravens want to be able to use these guys in a number of ways. A couple of run defense reps. I think I got 3 of them. This is going to be the toss play. So you're just going to see his pursuit angle here. So this is the play that I think it's Kenyon. Yeah. Keon Martin is going to blow this up and end up getting the final tackle. But watch Starks take this pursuit angle. Just very smart running right up there. And you can see there's big fray of bodies here, but he plays this so smooth, getting up. Yeah, and see him just kind of run over at the end. So really smart pursuit angles, does that really well. This is going to be, you guys have seen this play a couple times. I think I showed it in the Mike Green video as well as the Trent Simpson video. So again, the sensor bar is going to be a pain in the butt. This is the only way I can avoid copyright. So Starks is going to drop down here, and the way he plays that kind of back press on the backside of the blocking scheme. So you can see right here, there comes Starks into the picture, and you can see Sanders start to cut because he's filling that gap, right? And then he's just going to pursue down right there and take that away. So he can come down and run support. He can run the alley. He's very physical. So we'd love to see that. And then again, we have him down in the box. You got Sanusi Kane. I believe that's him right here at the bottom left of your screen. And he's going to play the backside of this zone run really well. So the Colts are going to go zone to their right. See Starks avoid that tight end block here from 85. And then get on his horse and pursue. And get down there and get into the fray. So not a lot of snaps from Malachi Starks. We haven't seen a ton of commentary around him, so I really wanted to make sure I gave you guys a look at some of the snaps and why I'm kind of excited, because even though there's not big plays being made, he didn't have the turnovers, didn't have PBUs, there wasn't highlight reel plays. I think you can see some very sound coverage. I think you see a versatile role, and that really excites me for what the Ravens coaching staff can do beside Kyle Hamilton. So that's what I have for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, if you're excited about Starks, hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new here, and as always, drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.